Born on October 1633, at St. James's Palace in London, James Stuart was the second surviving son of King Charles I and Queen Henrietta Maria. Raised in a royal household divided by political and religious tensions, James grew up during one of the most tumultuous periods in English history. When civil war broke out in 1642 between his father and Parliament, James, along with his elder brother Charles, was thrust into the chaos of conflict. After the execution of Charles I in 1649, James fled to France with his family, living in exile during the interregnum under Oliver Cromwell's Commonwealth. These years of displacement would shape James's character, fostering a deep loyalty to the Stuart cause and a steadfast commitment to his Catholic faith, traits that would later define and complicate his reign.
With the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, James returned to England alongside his brother, now crowned Charles II. James was granted the title Duke of York and became a key figure in the royal court. He demonstrated military prowess, commanding the Royal Navy during the Second and Third Anglo-Dutch Wars, earning respect as a capable leader. However, his conversion to Catholicism in the late 1660s, during a time of anti-Catholic sentiment in England, sowed seeds of controversy. James's open Catholicism became a lightning rod for political and religious tensions. Although Charles II had no legitimate heirs, James's Protestant daughters Mary and Anne provided reassurance to the Protestant majority. Yet, when James ascended the throne in 1685 following Charles' death, his Catholicism and his attempts to promote religious tolerance would ignite a crisis that would define his reign.
James II began his reign with widespread support, and his coronation in April 1685 marked the continuation of the Stuart dynasty. However, his rule quickly became contentious. James sought to expand religious tolerance for Catholics and Protestant dissenters, issuing the Declaration of Indulgence in 1687, which suspended penal laws against Catholics and non-Anglican Protestants. While this policy aimed to promote religious freedom, many viewed it as a dangerous overreach of royal power and a threat to the Protestant Church of England. James's autocratic tendencies alienated even his supporters. He bypassed Parliament to appoint Catholics to high-ranking positions, including in the military and government. His insistence on absolute monarchy and his disregard for parliamentary authority fueled fears of a return to Catholic domination and arbitrary rule, evoking memories of his father's conflicts with Parliament.
The tipping point came in 1688 with the birth of James's son, James Francis Edward Stuart. Unlike his Protestant daughters, Mary and Anne, the new heir was raised as a Catholic, raising the prospect of a Catholic dynasty. This event galvanized opposition to James, and a coalition of Protestant nobles invited Mary's husband, William of Orange, to intervene. William landed in England in November 1688 with a substantial Dutch army sparking the Glorious Revolution. Facing widespread desertion from his army and even his closest advisors, including his daughter Anne, James fled London. He attempted to rally support but found himself increasingly isolated. In December 1688, James fled to France, seeking refuge under the protection of Louis XV.
James spent the remainder of his life in exile, residing at the Château de Saint-Germain-Laye near Paris. Though he never regained the throne, James became the figurehead of the Jacobite movement, which sought to restore the Stuarts to power. His supporters, known as Jacobites, launched several uprisings in Scotland and Ireland, including the Battle of the Boyne in 1690, where James's forces were defeated by William's army. James's exile was marked by a sense of failure and regret. Despite his efforts to reclaim his crown, he lived the rest of his life under the shadow of his daughter Mary and son-in-law William, who ruled jointly as William III and Mary II. He died on September 16, 1701, and was buried in France. His death marked the end of an era, but not the end of the Stuart cause, which continued to inspire loyalty among Jacobites for decades.
King James II's reign was brief but transformative. His attempts to assert absolute authority and promote religious tolerance clashed with the deeply ingrained Protestant identity of England, leading to his downfall. The Glorious Revolution not only ended James's reign, but also ushered in a new constitutional order, establishing the supremacy of Parliament and enshrining Protestant succession to the throne. For some, James is remembered as a tyrant whose ambition threatened the liberties of his subjects. For others, he was a principled monarch who sought to create a more inclusive society, but was undone by the prejudices and fears of his time. His legacy remains one of complexity, reflecting the challenges of reconciling personal conviction with the demands of leadership.
James II's life was a story of ambition, faith, and ultimate failure. His reign reshaped England's political and religious landscape, leaving a legacy that continues to influence the modern constitutional monarchy. While his efforts to secure tolerance and royal authority ended in exile, his impact on history endures, serving as a reminder of the delicate balance between power, belief, and the will of the people.